Lee Sin's. But yeah, Vi is more of a tier 2 jungler, and then the Riven also isn't a very popular pick right now. So it looks like they've done some research and they've seen what these people play. And on the other side, you have Morgana, Shyvana, and Jax, which are all pretty standard bans actually, especially if you want to target a support. And then we see the Thresh pick coming in, which is a very strong support right now in this meta, and it's a great pick overall. It can do so many different things. But this does leave Braum open, so we'll see if they pick that.
Yeah, and absolutely. I used to love playing Thresh back last season when I actually main support. And with Braum still being available, there's a lot you could do with that. But from what I hear, he's got a pretty bad 2v2 laning matchup. After you get out of that, he's just a dominating force. But from what I understand, he's pretty hard to get through the lanes. But focusing more on these picks, we've got Elise and Tristana, or Evelynn and Tristana coming out for the Tri-State Warriors. I really like the Evelynn. It is so hard to just get control of her in the early game if you don't get everything warded into her jungle.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Especially at lower elos, the Evelynn pick is a very, very strong pickup because not only do people not play, like, they don't deep ward the enemy jungle, they don't play a lot of Lee Sin at low elos, and the people who do play Lee Sin usually climb pretty fast if they're decent at them. So
as you say that, Lee Sin gets locked in.
Oh well, there we go. But yeah, so Lee Sin is actually a very, very strong pick against Evelynn because he can do so many things against her. He can reveal her. He can duel her 1v1 early game, which is very, very strong. And Lee Sin has got a great counter gank. He's got a great gank in general. So we'll see how that plays out, but your Lulu also a very standard meta pick right now. So Prestige Worldwide's got a pretty strong team so far. They got some very, very high priority picks. The Lulu usually a ban in the LCS that we're seeing for top lane Lulu. But on the other side, we're seeing the Tristana locked in, which has been a very, very contested AD carry right now. Just because of the fact that all of the late game scaling now just makes her such a monster, because if you don't crush her early game, she outscales you. If she beats you early game, she outscales you. So there's nothing you can really do except for win early against her and just hope she doesn't take off.
Oh yeah, Tristana is just a monster if you let her get into the late game. We also see the Ziggs and the Leona locked in for this purple side team, the Tri-State Warriors. I've got to wonder what triplet of states they're coming from. You know, if they actually form a triangle. I have to wonder about that. Okay, that's just me going off my own little tangent. But as we see, Kog'Maw's locked in, and we're looking for a top laner out of the blue side team. I wonder if they're going to go with this Jarvan. We saw it come out yesterday to pretty good effect. I wonder what they're going to go for.
Yeah, the Jarvan would be a good pickup just because it would kind of like, it would just give more safety to the Kog'Maw. The Kog'Maw's got a lot of safety right now. This is a more of like a protector Kog'Maw kind of team comp, which is very, very good to run since they have the Lulu, the Lee Sin, the Jarvan. They can all kind of protect him and just give him space, especially with the Thresh. But the Renekton also would be a good pickup just because he offers that early game dominance, and it kind of, even if Kog'Maw falls behind a little bit, it'll like let him be a strong frontline against the Tristana. Well, Kog'Maw does scale up into the later game. But I want to touch on the Leona pick actually a bit because she has really fallen off recently, and she hasn't been as strong as she was for a bit. When the Relic Shield first came out, she was really played a lot, and it was like Thresh Leona and your other champion, but they do lock in Leona instead of Braum. What do you think about that?
I think the whole reason that a lot of people are just still more comfortable on Leona than they are Braum. I do feel that Braum brings more to a team fight than Leona does, but she's still very strong in her own right. She still has all of the hard engage that everybody loved from Leona to start with. But as we see their last lock-in, the Trundle comes out to go up against into the top lane with that Renekton, and from what I understand, that's pretty much going to be in Renekton's favor pre-6.
Yeah, it's actually going to be in Renekton's favor until level 9 unless they get some help from the jungler, because Renekton, especially if he is just getting ganks from his jungler and there's counter ganking, Renekton could turn on 2v1 ganks with the Trundle and the Evelynn. So I want to see how that works out because he does get that health bonus, and he's probably going to end up building that team out of that Hydra. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how he plays this one.
Yeah, I really like the Renekton. Like, I am a big time fan of all sorts of Renekton play. I used to main him for a very long time, pretty much until Kayle came out, and then Kayle just destroyed everything that was ever a top lane. It was not very fun. But Renekton is pretty at home with me. I love doing the whole, hey, you come gank me and then I just destroy you all.
Yeah, I mean, he did get nerfed a little bit early game with the changes to his ultimate. They did make it kind of the later game item, but it's more just waiting to see how the Trundle's going to scale against him, because Trundle does scale very well late game. So does the Eve. So does the Tristana. Most of the tier champions on Tri-State Warriors do scale very well. They got the wave clear. But then on the other side, you see the Renekton and the Lulu and the Lee Sin. And all of their damage tends to fall off late game, but their early game is so strong against these champions here. I would love to see how that works out. The Thresh Kog'Maw, they might have a tough time against this Leona if she can manage to get onto the Kog'Maw. So I want to see how that plays out. I want to see if they're going to use a good, like, there's going to be good teleport use in this game, and I really want to see how Lee Sin makes impact on this game.
Right, and as you were saying, with this whole protect the Kog'Maw comp, if Leona can get back there, if she can get on him, there's not much peel afterwards to say.
Well,
if they can get to him, they can pretty much stick to him beyond the initial engage.
Well, like, when you're saying that, I do actually think that even if Leona does get on Kog'Maw, he will be relatively safe because there's the Thresh Lantern. And the only person who's really going to be diving the backline is the Leona. They're going to have the Trundle Pillar, of course, and Evelyn's going to need to flank to actually get to Kog'Maw. And flanking is really, really hard against Thresh just because you drop the box and then you just get slowed. Especially against Lulu with like Glitter Lance, you're going to get like 95% slowed. You're not going to move at all. So I do think that Kog'Maw will be pretty safe here, especially if they use the Lee Sin kick to disengage, which is probably what they're going to need to do because Leona's the only dive. And that's why I think Braum would have been a better champion in this situation, because there's actually a lot more dive on Prestige Worldwide than there is on Tri-State Warriors. So if the Braum had come in, they would have been able to protect Tristana a lot better. And how I see it is Leona's just going to go in and get blown up early game because there's no one else going in with her.
You're absolutely right about that. And if they time this wrong, Leona could wind up dead before everybody else comes in to join her.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have to be kind of afraid because they do have a lot of pick, specifically.
Yeah.
If Trundle finds somebody all by themselves, he's a great duelist. If Leona catches somebody out of position, she can lock them down until everybody else can come around. If you find Elise or Evelyn alone, it's not something you really want to fight against. So they have a lot of pick, they have a lot of dueling, and their team fight isn't too bad so long as they can get the team fights that they want to get.
Yeah, and I actually think that even if they do fall behind a bit, they do have the Ziggs, and this is actually a great failsafe here. So what they've done is they've picked this late game team comp with the Trundle and the Tristana, and as long as they don't fall too far behind, like sure they can maybe die once in lane, but as long as they stay kind of rather even in farm, and they can kind of just get to the late game, they'll have the Ziggs wave clear, which will really, really help against Prestige Worldwide, because Prestige Worldwide siege is not that great. All they have to siege is the Kog'Maw. Sure, they have the Lulu, but they don't really have like they have like the wave clear with the Lulu and the Kog'Maw, but they can get picked off, like you were saying, with the Trundle Pillar. If they land the Leona ult with a Trundle Pillar on Kog'Maw when he is just trying to hit that turret, it's going to be devastating. Unless the Thresh is far enough back with the Lantern, it could be really, really bad. So what I would like to see is how they handle the siege and how it kind of works around they work around the Ziggs, because they're going to need to pick people off. They're going to need to get kills on Ziggs if they're going to want to siege down turrets.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the two comps, and I'm looking at the characters involved, and I actually like Tri-State's grouping better than Prestige Worldwide, simply because that Trundle is going to basically remove one of the tanks away from Prestige. He's going to shred all of his resistances, half of his life, and even kind of take down some of his attack damage if he gets that bite off on him before he goes in. And when you have three kind of tanky champions, losing one of them is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think that it is just going to be just a rough game for the AD carries in this one, because if it gets ahead, like if Lee Sin gets ahead enough and he can actually dive back onto the Ziggs and the Tristana, if they can get a kick back onto the Ziggs and just remove him from the fight, they have so much single target CC. They have the Polymorph, they have the Hook, they have the Flay, they have the Reactive Ruthless Predator for the stun. If they can just kick one of the carries back, that carry will die. And that is just so much pressure on positioning. If the Lee Sin can connect that Q and his war jump or flash behind you and kick you forward, it's going to be really, really hard to just survive.
As we see here, we might have a little bit of a fight. They're sitting in that bush. No, he's going to get that Q out, scout him out, see everybody's there, and just back on up. The hook goes out, not quite going to catch anything. So that would have been a very fun level 1. A nice 3v4 to start the game. I'd have been a nice, happier person. That'd have been fun.
I actually do think that Prestige Worldwide had the stronger level 1 with the Glitter Lance and the hook, and the Lee Sin Q, and especially with the Kog'Maw range buff on his W. So I think that if they had hit the hook, they probably would have gone in on that, just because of Leona did opt to start on with her Q, so she would have had to get in range to pop a stun, so that would have meant burning her flash. So I really think that Tri-State Warriors did a really good job there in backing off and not taking that fight.
Yeah, and as we see, we're looking down the build pass. Everybody's pretty much the same. The only real difference we've got is a Relic Shield versus the Ancient Coin, and I guess that'll be slightly more aggressive from the Tri-State Warriors.
Yeah, a lot of Thresh players, there's a lot of different paths you can go. Actually, it's completely viable to build all 3 gold generation items on Thresh, and it's even viable to start with a Ruby Crystal too, just because you can just get that really early Sightstone and you get that extra HP. It's really, really good. So for Thresh, it doesn't really matter. This guy looks like he wants to have a more passive laning phase though, because of the fact that he's with the Kog'Maw, and he is afraid of the just straight up level 2 burst damage from the Leona and the Tristana, which is insane actually. If they hit the EQ on someone, on the Kog'Maw, with the Tristana jump and the E, it's going to do a lot of damage. But we are seeing a lot of damage going down in the mid lane, and it seems that Lulu was actually winning out these trades.
Yeah, and as you were saying about that EQ combo, it's so much damage, especially with the Leona passive proccing off of this Kog'Maw. That'd just be a lot to try and deal with so early on. And since he doesn't have any natural form of sustain, all of that damage would just stay until he either popped his pot or went back. Yeah,
and the Relic Shield probably would have been better in this lane for Thresh, just because that he would actually give Kog'Maw a little bit of sustain with the procs and of the Relic Shield, just give a healing a little bit up for his max health. But we'll see how it plays out, because you do get the mana regen from every creep that dies from it. So I want to see how this works out.
This is also true. I do kind of like the fact that Kog'Maw went with his E and W as his first starting levels. That'll allow him to throw that Void Ooze down, keep himself safe in case anybody's trying to get to him, but it also gives him the Bio-Arcane Barrage and lets him, just reach out and touch somebody.
Yeah, and I like a lot what they're doing is actually pushing the wave, so it makes it a lot harder for Leona to engage on them. But we are seeing a gank top. The Eve is coming in on top of them on the Renekton. He did just take a turn.
He does not see her at all. Coming in, we actually have Lee Sin for a counter gank, and Renekton is really low. Can he make it out? The E goes down on a Lee Sin to cripple. She's going to make it out, but Lee Sin's going to be taking a little bit of poke, not too much. Good gank, though. Didn't actually get any summoners. I'm kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, actually, Lee Sin and Renekton really could have turned that around had Renekton not blown his stun on Trundle. Had Renekton waited till Lee Sin had got there, they actually would have been able to kill that Evelynn really, really easily, because they could have had Lee Sin he could have war jumped in, or war jumped to the creep, and then he could have hit the cripple onto Eve, followed by the Renekton stun, and then followed by the Resonating Strike follow-up. And that would have been like a dead Eve, because she's so squishy early game.
Yeah, she is not tanky at all until she gets that level 6 and actually is able to put that ulti down, get that shield going. And Kog'Maw looking a little bit of a trick. Gotta be careful. That is a lot of minions you do not want punching you in the face.
Yeah, he actually did win that trade, however, but he did spend a little bit of mana, so we'll see how that actually pans out in the later stages of the game. Doesn't look like he spent too much, so I think that's a one trade for him. As long as he can make sure to not get hit by that Zenith Blade, he was quite close there, so he needs to be a little bit careful, because that would have been a dead Kog'Maw.
Absolutely. We got another gank coming down bottom lane. Lee Sin going to be working his way around, gets stunned up by the Leona, and already down to the corner of life. The hook catches her right mid-jump. The damage is coming back out, but they're both going to go out, away. I saw a flash go down. There it is. Tristana's burn. No heal, no flash, and no exhaust on the Leona.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing here is that when you play Leona, you actually usually want to run Ignite just because you want to go super aggressive on your... and like all in level 2, and because it does half the healing, but
Lee Sin has to run away from his golems.
But yeah, they would have killed Lee Sin had they had Ignite up there. So the summoner choices, because they could have actually just killed Lee Sin and gotten out, no problem, and had they had that ignite. So it's really a questionable summoner choice there by Leona, because when you're playing Leona, that's the whole point of playing her, is you want to get those all-ins, you want to get those kills in lane, and Exhaust isn't going to help you with those the trades. Exhaust is a defensive summoner spell, so I mean we'll see how they play out their lane, but I just don't think it was an optimal choice of summoners this game.
That's very true, and I like how bottom lane is just freezing the lane right there in that nice little comfort zone, makes it almost completely impossible for Leona to dive in without taking turret shots.
Yeah, that's actually a really great play. It's a really smart play. A lot of people that in low elo don't freeze lane enough. They push
and Elite's
out.
Coming up top for another gank, trying to take down the Renekton, but he is Trundle is really low. Why didn't he? I feel like he could have just finished off the Trundle there.
You know what? I think that he didn't have full fury. He wasted
taking a lot of damage.
He's trading back. If Lee Sin actually comes up top, if he can hold them here long enough, oh, he's not 6 yet, and Trundle just hit 6. If he can keep them up here or keep them interested long enough for Lee Sin to come down.
And Leona going down to the bot lane, gets flayed out of the E. That is a very good trick that I don't see happen often enough.
Yeah, and that's another reason why Leona's kind of fallen out of favor, is because so much Leona was played, is that Thrushes have gotten experience on how to play against Leona, and they just know that you can just flay her out of her Zenith Blade, and she's useless after that. She can't stun stick to your carry. There's no stun, there's no passive proc, so that's another reason why I think that Leona's fallen out of favor. Unless you're going to ban Thresh, you should really not pick Leona. Because it's just
I also feel like Braum can kind of do everything Leona does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his level 1 to 3. Level 1, Braum is obviously pretty strong with his passive proc, especially with a hero like Tristana, because you can get that rapid fire. You can level up that, and you get 4 auto attacks super fast off. It's good, good synergy there with that lane of the Braum Tristana. There is, however, a lot of burst damage in this lane too, so there is some synergy here, but I think that Braum would have been better for multiple reasons, because he could block the Kog'Maw ooze damage, he could block the Bioarcane Barrage, he could block so much stuff with his shield, and Tristana can just sit back there and just fire away. And he can block the Thresh Hook on Tristana if he needs to, and just block all that damage, especially if Thresh is maxing Hook first. And
Leona's actually going to get hooked back under her tower. She's so very low. Can they actually get her down? The Caustic Spittle does not reach. And it does look like she's going to be able to get out successfully. The Flash Q, Lee Sin going in with the ulti. First blood coming out for Lee Sin. Very well played. Yeah, he actually didn't even need a flash there, but he's not, he had his trinket up as well, and he decided to not war jump. Oh no, his trinket wasn't up. He warded the bush and then didn't jump to it, and then he flashed. So a little bit of a misplay there. He could have saved his flash there easily and gotten the kill still. But all in all around, a good kill. That's good first blood for him, and that's going to get him a bit ahead, and he's going to be able to duel even in her jungle. He should really just go into her jungle now and just look to make plays. Oh, definitely. And the thing about Lee Sin is, I feel like if he doesn't get these early kills, if he doesn't make an early presence, then he doesn't necessarily do much for the rest of the game. And as we're looking here at this blue buff, Evelyn coming around the side might be getting the drop on Lee Sin. The ulti comes out, and Lee Sin is going to be going down. A good return kill and a blue buff steal for the Evelyn. Yeah, and that's just a reason why you always carry a ward on Lee Sin. Yeah, you always got to carry a ward on Lee Sin, just for that reason. Especially if your trinket's down, because he could have easily just ward jumped out of there and been fine. And that's just another case where he burned his flash earlier and he couldn't escape because of it. So it's gonna one thing costs another thing, and now he, instead of losing just a kill, he loses a blue buff and a kill. So unfortunate it's a chain of events there, but oh well. And then the ulti's actually coming out of the Trundle in the top lane, and he's going to be getting caught out. A good bit of damage going down. The flashes and the ulti's burned. I pretty don't think he needed that ulti. I really don't. I think Renekton thought that the Eve ulti was still up, and had the Eve ulti been up, they would have been able to dive him no problem. Yeah, I guess that's just a miscommunication, because Lee Sin definitely should have told him. Yeah, Lee Sin should have been Evelyn ult down, because Evelyn ult had been used. So, just a bunch of miscommunication here, unfortunately, for Prestige Worldwide. And Trundle can just go aggressive on Renekton as much as he wants now, and can't really do much. And his power spike's kind of over. He's not bullying Trundle as hard as he should be. Trundle got the assist, and it's going to be a rough laning phase. And he's coming right back. Gank, and Renekton is already low. No flash, no ulti, no way out. Goodbye, Crocodile. And now Trundle just gets that lane all to himself, and look at all the CS that he's about to get denied.
Yeah, well, he does have the TP, so if he does respawn, and he just spawns in 10 seconds, so if Rundle doesn't push this turret hard enough, he might be able to come back and get about half his wave with his teleport. It looks like it will hit the cannon minion, so he will be able to get most of this wave, so it's not too bad for him, but unfortunate nonetheless that he was playing so aggressive there. He should have just recalled TP back to lane and then, yeah, just on that instead of staying with low health.
And as we see Lee Sin making it around, coming down for this Trundle gank, he's got everything already on him, but I don't think Renekton is going to be close enough to actually get in for anything. So he's just going to take some poke, take some harass, walk away, turn around and try and bite him, but, you know, leave the Lee Sin alone, go home, come back, try again.
Yeah, this Lee Sin still isn't carrying any wards. He's relying on his trinket to get around, and the issue with that I'm having is that he
actually did bring that ward that you see in top lane.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't even need to use that one there. He already knew Trundle was there. He saw him walk to the bush, and he could have just fired a Q and it would have been better because he would be able to ward jump. But it would have been a kill on Trundle because he had no mana either, and he had no ultimate up. So, but actually going in the bot lane, great hook there.
Oh wow, hi, down to the bot lane, and Evelyn coming in with the ulti, and they're just gonna tower dive, and Kog'Maw is so low, down he goes, and Thresh, what are you doing, man? Pulls back the Evelyn, but he gives up the double kill. I'm not sure I would have made that call.
Well, what happened there actually is Tristana jumped behind Thresh and ulted him backwards.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, so he was already like SOL there, so he had to try and get a kill. He got at least a return kill on the jungler, which is actually not too bad because she's a jungler, so it does remove some map presence from the map. And but we do see Ziggs roaming down bot lane here.
And I think they want to go for this Lee, but no, he's just going to go right back to lane. He was talking to his people. He's like, no, we don't want this. Okay, I'll just go farm more. Yeah.
He probably thought that Dragon was a doable option there, but he probably realized that with Eve down and Lee Sin still up and bot lane, it's probably not viable to go for Dragon there. And so what we're going to see is Eve's going to go pick up a blue buff. And I'm not sure if she's going to give it off to Ziggs, but that would be really, really good if she did, because he would be able to siege down. They would be able to start sieging down turrets with that Ziggs poke. And I think with the power spike of the Blazing King on Tristana right now, because she does have those 2 kills, they really could just go for that really early dragon with the blue buff on Ziggs, and they would win the fight because Renekton's TP is down and Trundle's TP is up. So
this is true, and actually there's going to be another fight in top lane. Trundle trying to shove out the Renekton, going to be putting some damage down, but not necessarily enough to make him go back. And as we were saying about the dragon, there is no ward coverage from either team on the dragon right now.
Yeah, and Lee Sin is just taking so much damage, and he's getting forced out, and they're kind of getting ready to do this dragon. So,
and as I say, there's no ward coverage. They go down and put a ward.
Yeah, there you go.
Cast a curse, I swear. And so much damage coming back toward the Evelyn, and counter jungle gone wrong.
Yeah, and that's just one thing there about Eve that you have to pay attention to, is that Lee Sin will always be able to 1v1 you until about like level 10, level 11, when you actually get that level 2 ultimate off. Lee Sin is only sitting on this Elder Lizard. He has like a bunch of gold in his pocket now. He's sitting on like 1,300 gold. So I don't know why he didn't buy boots or anything like that, because Eve is just making more pressure on the map because she's getting around faster with those mobility boots. So I'm interested to see how this will play out. But a hook on the bot lane.
Hook in the bot lane, and Tristana's really low. The living artillery goes, and she's about 450 health. Can they get anything?
Oh my god, that
goes
word drop.
In the hook. Or not the hook, the Q lands, the ulti's coming out, so much, just missed everything, whiffs going left and right. The shield, the stun is going down. Can we get the kills? Can we get the kills? So close, Leona going deep for it, but she is going to just give herself up. Thresh goes Lantern, Kog'Maw goes home. Very low life bars, but in the end, 2 kills going over to Prestige Gaming.
Yeah, and Ziggs blew a heal there as well, and he didn't realize that Leona still had the heal debuff from the Tristana heal on her, so he actually he wasted his heal at full health because of the fact that she already had the heal debuff. It wasn't going to save her, and they weren't going to get the kill because she got flayed away from the Zenith Blade. So really good micro there by Prestige Worldwide, and like I said, that's why you carry the wards as Lee Sin, so that you can ward jump and pick up that kill, because he didn't have that ward, he would have been able to pick up that kill. So good play
there. Another
there.
counter jungle going down, but Evelyn is all alone, and the mid laner is there. you cannot make that alone. You know,
No.
I can't tell you how many times people in the LCS have said counter jungling is a team experience. You got to bring your team with you. And speaking of the team coming with you, Renekton is coming down onto this Trundle, and there is nowhere for him to run. But can he make it around the pillar? Can he make it out of the Q missed, and he flashes over the Baron wall, makes it out with 34 life. That's just gotta be so annoying for Prestige Gaming, but regardless, he's gonna have to go back. Renekton's gonna get some time alone, and they secure their blue buff.
That's just unlucky. The Baron should have just was aggroed, but it didn't attack Trundle. He got very lucky there. He was able to flash out of range of the auto attack from Baron as it was going off, so he canceled the AA animation, and then Renekton ended up eating it. So that's just unlucky. But there is some action going on in the mid lane.
Just a little bit of a trade going down, get some poke back and forth, but this bottom tower is really low, and it's probably going to be going down. First tower now going over to the Tri-State Warriors.
Yeah, and that's just what the strength of Tristana is. And again, going to the mid lane.
Mid lane, Evelyn around and just going to be like, hi, I'm scary, bye. Run away.
Yeah, and what thing that's happened here is that Lee Sin has actually picked up 3 of the team's kills here, so he got an early sight stone, he's got those Merc treads. But he's going to build more damage. And sure, that's good in solo queue if you're playing the Lee Sin. But the issue here is that he's going to need to be a frontline tank because there is so much damage on the side of
Tristana caught out on the back line of this dragon. She's going to hop over the wall. She does get the ulti out from the Thresh. And now Leona's going to be going in. It's 3-on-3 with the Evelyn there. Can we get... Why is she not using... The ulti is not available for Evelyn. And so we're just going to trade some damage back and forth. I would say Prestige Gaming came out ahead in that trade.
I think the Tri-State Warriors came ahead because Evelyn ult is coming up right now. Lee Sin ult was spent. Thresh ult was spent.
Yeah, good points.
And Dragon is up, and they have the Tri-State Warriors have complete control of it. So the fact that those 2 ultimates were burned, and Eve had wasted her ultimate at blue buff, but it didn't actually end up punishing them there.
And whoa, Tristana is going so much. Wow, I was caught off guard by that.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Living Artillery comes down. Tristana gets caught out in a 1v1 with everybody around.
Yeah, and the Eve is
Thresh
coming
is in
behind.
a dangerous place, and there's a fight in the Dragon River. Can you get out, Ziggs? No, you can't. Bye-bye. Another kill goes down. Sorry to say it, Ziggs. You're in a bad place there.
And the Kog'Maw does go down to Eve, but she will die for that. She's going to pay the price for that. She
the
gets
hook
up.
lands from Thresh, and another kill goes over to Lulu.
And that should be a dragon. No doubt about it.
That's got to be a dragon.
Yeah. They have the ward control. There is a ward on it, but Eve's dead. Jiggs is dead.
They'll get the timer and be okay with that.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, great trading for Prestige Worldwide. But the issue is, what are they going to do with this now? They have this 2k gold advantage. They have to press it. It's only 3k right now. That's not insurmountable, especially with this kind of late game oriented team, especially if you don't close out the game fast enough. So it's quite possible for a comeback in this situation. And it's the first dragon, it's 18 minutes. So it's not like they've lost like every dragon, it's only been one they've lost. So it could go worse, and Trundle is at that stage where he can just bully Renekton.
And speaking of bullying Renekton, he is going to... I'm pretty sure that qualifies as bullying.
Yeah.
Taking him down. That's about as bullied as you can get. And there's a fight in the bot lane. Tristana going hard onto this Kog'Maw. 2 levels down, forcing him to run away.
Yeah, and that's just the strength of the Blade of the Ruined King over the Trinity Force. You can just... She has so many steroids that if Kog'Maw wants to fight, he gets the shred on his HP regen, he gets the slow from the W, he gets the ulted back. So, but yeah, like I was saying, their team scales so well, and they've just closed another 1,000 gold on them. So, what is Prestige Worldwide going to do with this lead? So far, they're not doing anything, and Lee Sin is going in for no reason on Trundle.
Lee Sin going on to the Trundle, I don't know what he's expecting to do except for run away after that. And Lulu actually getting caught out in the mid lane, and she's going to have to pop her ulti to try and get out, but she is going to go down to Tristana. And that is a shutdown kill going on to the Tristana. That is not what you want to have happen.
Yeah, and that's going to be a mid lane turret. And just like that, the gold lead is almost non-existent. It's within 1,000. So it was 3,000 gold lead a minute ago, and now it's a 2,000 gold lead. And they're going to get this inner turret because Lee Sin is... Renekton's chasing top lane. Fault lane has not rotated. Lee Sin went back to base because he went on in top lane for no reason. And that's 2 turrets.
And just like that, no more gold lead.
Yeah, and it's even, and I don't see them recovering from this just because Tristana is sitting on, let's see how much gold she's sitting on. She's sitting on 1,300 gold. That's going to be her static shiv, so that's going to be a huge power spike. The Ziggs is sitting on 1,000 gold. Leona's sitting on 1,600 gold. So Ziggs will be getting his needlessly large rod within a few minutes, like a minute or two. Then they can start sieging down because Leona's gonna pick up. She's gonna pick up her support item. She's probably gonna grab boots and some more wards and probably pick up that face of the mountain. And we'll see what they can do with this.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing about Tristana is once she starts going, she doesn't really ever stop going.
Yeah.
So they've got to be really careful. As long as Tristana doesn't go completely out of her mind and start hopping into 4 and 5 people, she's pretty much okay now. She's pretty much okay. She's gotten past that hurtful early game, but at least Evelyn. Why do I always get Elise and Evelyn wrong? Evelyn getting caught by a hook. I guess they're both blue, so I don't know. They're both blue. They both start with E, but one's here and one's not. So
yeah. The thing is about the team comp here for Tri-State Warriors is they have so much protection for Tristana as well. But the issue is that Renekton opted for a team at first. He has no boots yet. His only gap closer is going to be that slice and dice. Tristana can just knock him away. She can knock Lee Sin away. And it's going to be a rough game for the enemy team trying to dive in on her because they have the E-Vault, they have stuns from Leona, they got Face of the Mountain already, they got Buster Shot, so much self-peel. They're going to have to get a pick to fight because there's just so much AoE damage coming from the Ziggs, coming from the Leona, coming from the Eve. And Trundle's going to drop that pillar down, he's going to tank, he's going to make Renekton not even a tank anymore, so it'll be interesting how that works.
That's very true, and I do like the fact that that Renekton stopped at the Hydra, at the Hydra and went, or Tiamat, there we go, but instead of that we got a fight. Nothing really gonna go down, just a little bit of a trade. But what I was trying to say is, I like the fact that he stopped at Tiamat, went and built his Sunfire cape because he knew that he was pretty squishy, and now he's got some tanky stats and a little bit of damage on him.
Yeah, but I just think in the situation it's too late. Trundle's got the Blade of the Ring King already. He's almost got his Frozen Heart. Once he gets that, it's gonna nullify a lot of Kog'Maw's damage.
And Renekton's actually getting caught out in the top lane. He's gonna get so much damage from this Evelyn. Ooh. She's dropped down about a quarter of his life, and she's gonna walk right around. There goes another portion. He is down to less than half life just with Evelyn hate spikes coming out. The hook goes out, gonna miss. Evelyn just walks away. Have a nice day.
Lee Sin going on Ziggs here, missing almost all of his skills here, and Ziggs just gonna walk away safe.
Throws a bomb just to be mean.
Yeah.
Has to burn his flash to avoid the Satin charge, but Evelyn going in all alone. So much damage coming out from the Ziggs bomb and Evelyn's ulti. She's gonna be diving in trying to get him, but she's gonna go down to the Q, and in the bot lane there's a trade between the Kog'Maw and Tristana. Tristana's gonna come out alive of it. Gonna flash or hop away from the ulti, and oh man, action everywhere on the map, and Trundle going down trying to get the so close to getting that Lee Sin, but getting hooked up, but nobody can turn around for that.
Yeah, but meanwhile, while that fight's going on, Tristana's killed Kog'Maw 1v1. She's taken the bottom turret. She's got a Phantom Dancer. She's going to be well on her way to her Last Whisper now. She's got 1,300 gold. It's going to be a pickaxe, and it's going to be Berserker's Greaves and a pickaxe, most likely here. And it just does not look that great for Kog'Maw right now. He's being outdueled. Even though he's out farming her, she's got 4 kills, and she's just bullying him, and she had the heal bait. She had so much on him, so we'll see how this fight goes up top lane though.
And as you can see, Renekton is just so naturally scared of Trundle that even though he only came out at half life, he immediately takes actions to run away. You gotta be worried when your top laner is that scared of his laning opponent that he just can't even fight him anymore.
Yeah, well, it's just because he doesn't have ulti up, and he figured that Trundle did have ulti up again because he didn't use it in the last fight. And that's the thing with that last fight though. That could have gone so much worse for Prestige Worldwide because of the fact that there was no E-Vault and there was no Trundle ult. Had there been the E-Vault, there was 3 champions grouped up right there. That E-Vault plus that Ziggs ult would have shredded their whole team, and that would have been a win because that would be like a huge shield. But
there's going to be action on Thresh. I don't really think there's going to be much coming out of this, just a trade going down, but Evelyn used her ulti to try and secure that. I'm not sure if I would have dedicated that much to that fight.
Yeah, the thing is, this Eve is she keeps wasting her ultimate for no apparent reason here, trying to get picks that her team can't follow up on, and it's costing them in team fights. There are situations when if she had her ulti up, had she not wasted it on a one hero, because like this dragon's coming up right now. They know there's no Eve ulti. That's a huge cooldown for them right now. And if they had Eve, oh my gosh, and Tristan getting caught and she's going down.
Oh, I don't even have words fast enough to express how that just happened.
Yeah, she got hit by the living artillery from Kog'Maw, and then the Lee Sin Q hit, and then the hook hit, and she was gone. So that's going to mean a dragon for Prestige Worldwide, and they're going to be able to do something with this. They might not be able to get any turrets, but they're going to be able to at least get this dragon. There is no Tristan Eve ult, but there's no Tristan on the playing field right now, so we'll see how this plays out.
And the hook comes down. Evelyn is caught out. She's going to be getting hit by the box and going down. There's nothing much you can do to really save that. Trundle coming in with a teleport right onto the Lee Sin, but he is, for the most part, alone. Ziggs' ulti comes down. So much damage out of that mega explosive bomb. And Trundle goes down. Ziggs, you are in a bad place, man. Run. Run, Ziggs, run. The hook, he blew himself backwards with the satchel charge. That is not the direction he wanted to go with that. Yeah, and you can just notice here that there are some this Evelyn is actually making a lot of major mistakes that are costing the team the game right now. Had she just like not gone in, there was no need to contest the dragon. It was already a lost dragon. It was 4v5. They didn't need to go in there. She went in and got hooked, and on top of that, when the box came up, she activated her W before she got hit by the slow of the box, so she couldn't cleanse the slow from the box. And that's just another mistake that you can't really make at this stage of the game. And so what that did is that cost their team 4 kills, it cost them Dragon, and it cost them Middle Turret. Now it's a 5k gold lead. This is a bit too much of a lead, I think, for them to handle. The Lulu's going to be a bit much. Kog'Maw is going to be able to get his Blazing King very, very soon. And Tristan is not even opting for a Last Whisper. She's going for Infinity Edge. So it looks a little bit bleak right now, I think, for Tri-State Gaming. Just because of that one mistake of going for that Dragon. Yeah, I can honestly kind of pull that even a little bit further back and pin it on the Evelyn trying to get that Thresh and using her ulti on that.
Yeah.
Even if she just saved that, there was a little bit of a skirmish prior to that dragon fight, and she could have used it there. Could have forced the engagement instead of just losing her ulti in a 1v1 that didn't get her anything, and then not having anything for the team fight. Especially
on the support too. That's not even a good trade. Like maybe if it was the mid laner and she felt that she could kill the mid laner or something like that, but it was on the support, so that's not even a worthwhile trade. Even if you blow all of your stuff and go that deep for support, usually you're gonna get cleaned up after that, and it just wasn't end up being worse for them. And the thing is that she was invis and she's using her ulti on Kog'Maw. We'll see how this plays out.
And see, that was actually a decent trade if they could have actually brought down the Kog'Maw, but no, Evelyn is gonna be getting caught out by the Lee Sin. She is all alone. Someone needs to get there to help her, and there's so much damage going down, but Evelyn all alone getting taken out.
Yeah, and that's just another bad use of the ultimate there again. They didn't have any wards in the jungle topside. They had no vision of the enemy team, and they just went really, really deep on the Kog'Maw with no vision and no knowledge of the enemy team, and that's something you just can't do, especially when you're behind, is because you will get cleaned up, especially if you're on their side of the map. So that was just another miscommunication, but we do see that there is a disconnect and on 2 heroes of Prestige Worldwide, so we'll see how that affects them.
I hope they're coming back soon. But right now, we've got Renekton trying to dive through the whole team to get back. There's so many safer ways he could have came around. I don't know why he chose that one, but he is going to be going down. The pause comes out, and we're going to be waiting on those two to try and reconnect. I'm not sure how long we're going to be waiting on that one, though.
Yeah, so
I hope soon.
Yeah, hopefully they do come back soon. They do get 10 minutes per pause, I think, per team. Is that correct, or is it 5 minutes per pause?
It is a 10-minute per or 10 minutes for each team. If they reach the end of that 10 minutes, unfortunately, they will have to forfeit this one match.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate because they are actually in the lead, and that would be really unfortunate. That kind of swung the whole turn of the game actually in the favor of just that the 2 DCs and the kill on Renekton is just massive, and they're gonna probably get this inhibitor turret because Kog'Maw and Lulu are in the base. Tristana's gonna shred that down. And that's just so unfortunate for them. They're playing so well. They just come back into the game. They got that advantage. They made a great play. They'd forced the Evelyn over and over again to overextend, and this just reminds me of solo queue, you know?
It really does. It doesn't necessarily feel as coordinated as I expect out of a 5-man unit. They have a voice protocol. They're able to call out what they're doing, and they're still playing like individuals instead of as a unit. I would like to see them, especially with their team comp, especially with Tri-State's team comp. It's all about group. It's all about team fight, and you've got Evelyn trying to run out and make solo plays.
Yeah, and Evelyn is not even strong enough to do that. Maybe if she was building more damage, or if she had built AP Evelyn, which is not that viable and only really works if you're super far ahead. But she's not, and she's building full tank. And the fact that she's trying to make pickoffs with her ultimate solo, and she doesn't really have any follow up for that. There's the only person who can really follow up is the Tristana with the jump in, and maybe the Ziggs with the bomb, and that's just not enough unless she gets them below half. And sure, she made the Kog'Maw blow heal, but when he blows the heal, just back off. Take what you can get and just leave, because that's what I find is the most major issue of lower elo players, is that they take an advantage, but they try to press it too hard. If you take an advantage, just take the advantage and go. Like, take it and go. Like, just go. And
hit and run on those summoners.
Yeah, exactly. Or especially if you just get a kill. Let's say you get a kill on someone and you get a turret. Don't stay for the inhibitor if they're all respawning. Back off, regroup. That inhibitor will be available. The turret's not going to respawn. It's gone for the rest of the game. You can go back to that inhibitor whenever you need to. You can go back, heal, set up for Baron, set up for a pick in the jungle, then grab that inhibitor, or even backdoor it. Don't make silly plays just because you feel like you need to push super hard on it. Sure, there are risks that may need to be taken. Let's say like it's like 10 seconds on the inhibitor, and you're like, hey, we can do this and get out. Like, I believe in us, we can do this. That's a better risk than like, okay, they're up in 1 second. Like, should we do inhibitor or should we back off? You should back off. You should recall and then set up a game plan somewhere else. Sure, it was so juicy and tasty to get that inhibitor. You're like, oh, I got a tunnel on that inhibitor, but just take advantage and back off. It's just the best thing you can do.
Oh yeah, and I call it like the 5-second rule. It's like food. Hit the floor, 5-second rule, it's okay. The inhibitor, 5 seconds, it's okay. Under 5 seconds, not okay. Leave, run. They are coming for you. They will catch you. Home guards is an issue.
Yeah.
Get out. I promise you, the safest thing you can do is just leave. And even yesterday, I can kind of relate the last game to something that happened. The blue side team that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of wound up sorry taking a Baron and got 3 kills. Alright, they went to the inhibitor turret, tried to take the inhibitor turret, and wound up getting completely aced and lost the game off that one play instead of just going back and regrouping.
Yeah, just like, because the thing is that people realize that if you're sitting on like a bunch of gold and like you go in, you get that Baron, you get those 3 kills, spend your money. Don't keep pushing it. Baron lasts for like 3 minutes. You don't need to push so hard. 3 minutes is a long time in League of Legends. There will be times when I'm sitting there and I'll be playing for like 3 minutes and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 3 minutes in. Like, you need to just realize that you have plenty of time. If you are able to take an objective, don't panic and think it's the only objective you're ever going to be able to take. Sure, you may think if you're super far behind, but it doesn't look like they're that far behind. It's only 6 kills. You don't need to. It's like you're actually ahead. Like, you don't need to pressure that hard. You're even in gold. You don't need to pressure that hard. It's just little mistakes of just not being able to properly analyze what the gold difference is.
Oh, absolutely. If you really don't believe that 3 minutes is a long time, remember, death timers are only 30 seconds. Remember how long that is, and then multiply it by 6.
Yeah, exactly. Like. And it's not even like that bad. Like, if you think League death timers are bad, if you've ever played Dota, if you don't have your buyback and you die, it's like 120 seconds on like your death timer.
Oh dear lord!
And that's not like latest game. I think it's like 180 seconds. So it's a 3-minute death timer if you don't have buyback. So do you like 3 minutes is a super long time? So you can totally take that Baron, get 3 kills, recall, heal up, buy your big item, buy your power spike, and then push down. You're going to be able to siege turrets. You have Baron buff. It's going to regen you. It's just don't be so greedy. Like, that's the one thing I see a lot. Is a lot of greed and tunnel vision, and that's one thing you notice less when you get higher and higher. Is that there's less. There is still a lot of greed and tunnel vision, but as a team, there's less greed and tunnel vision. There's more like calculated plays.
So speaking of tunnel vision, Renekton trying to dive through the entire team to get into his base. There are 2 other openings into your base that you could have gone through. Why dive through an entire team full of CC to try and get to a tower when you're not going to make it? Especially
only with tier 1 boots too. It's not going to happen. He probably figured, I only have tier 1 boots. I gotta get here fast. It tries to go through. He thinks he's tanky enough. The Ziggs Tristana is going to eat you alive, especially with the Leona stuns and the Eve damage and Trundle. Just too much. You don't try that. You could even just eat through the wall of your base. But it does look like Kog'Maw and Lulu have rejoined the game. So I'm excited to get back in this game and see how it ends.
Absolutely. I want to see how much they're going to lose off of this. It was a very unfortunate thing that they disconnected, but even still, that happens. How much are they going to lose because those two people DC'd?
I think it's only going to be an inhibitor turret. They're actually being very smart. They're not pressuring for that inhibitor. It's unfortunate they lose the inhibitor turret, but it's not the end of the world. They're still ahead 5k gold. Yes, it's an exposed inhibitor, but there's so much worse they could have lost. They're going to go for to Baron now, and I don't know if they have any idea about this.
That is a bad idea. I would not go for Baron right now.
Yeah, especially when they have the living artillery to check for it. Yeah, they're actually being smarter here, and they're backing off. They're just warding it up, making sure that they don't get counter Baron, or are they staying around to try and make a pick? So they know they're around the Baron area right now, and they see Trundle top lane. They could actually pick a fight here, because they're so split up.
I mean, it looks like we're just going to do a little bit of a dance around the Baron, get some wards down, and be safe, pull back, go somewhere else.
Yeah. And actually, what I really like about this Kog'Maw is that he's going for the Infinity Edge next. And there was a post on Reddit a couple days ago about this guy who's a Kog'Maw main, and he did the damage calculation that you actually get more damage out of not building Last Whisper.
I have to wonder why she used her ulti right there.
Yeah, it's possible miscommunication. It was 4-on-4. They probably could have won the team fight had they actually fully engaged, because she hit a 3-man ulti there. So
she had a huge shield.
Yeah, had Leona followed up with that her ultimate plus the Ziggs ultimate, that would have been some dead champions there. So it looks like a lot of miscommunication here going on between the jungler and their laners. So that's one thing you have to realize, is that jungling is a lot of synergy with your team. It's a lot of being on the same page as your team too. So
and it looks like they're going to chunking that tower down.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just the power of building that BF sword after your Blazer King on your Trinity Force. And Eve getting caught out again, forced to burn her flash. Not good. She really needs that flash, especially if she's going to be flanking. But yeah, they're just rotating around the map, and they're just trying to take as many turrets as they can. And Tri-State Warriors are just slow to react, and it's going to be another turret going down.
And that makes 2 inner towers down in this one push. And I don't see anything like... Why is Trundle still split pushing but not split pushing?
Yeah,
he's up there and he's just slow pushing. He's farming.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna have a split pusher, push. Push like all of the 9 hells are coming from behind you. Push.
Yeah. Like,
don't just kind of like cherry pick and take your time with it.
Especially the fact that he has teleport up too. He could be pushing so hard, and oh my goodness.
Oh, the damage out of the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, she got,
maybe not stand on those, please.
She got hit with the Glitter Lance at the same time as well, and just a lot of damage. One thing I am seeing here is that there's only one sweeper trinket on both teams, and this is a really, really late to only have one sweeper trinket on each team.
And they have to go in on this. Trouble going in, putting the damage down. I'm not sure who that ulti's on. The Solar Flare locks down a lot of them, and everyone is so low on Prestige. But the hook comes back, Leona's caught. Tristana's hopping in, trying to get some damage down. Trundle barely makes it out alive, but Evelyn goes down. Leona dives in, goes down too. Look at the Renekton. Is it gonna be enough? 28 health Renekton gets out with, but the fight goes on. The Q did land? Almost landed? Q did land.
The Q landed, and the Arcane Barrage also landed, but Ziggs used his heal last second to save Tristana. So getting some help from her friends, and they're gonna get an inhibitor turn off that, and that's just what I was telling you, the disengage potential of the Lee Sin with the box. Sure, they all dove in there, but Lee Sin just kicked Trundle right out of the fight. He was a non-factor in that fight. He got kicked right out. He got no damage dealt early. They're going to grab this dragon. They should grab it. They should recall it. They should prep for Baron. They're so far ahead right now. It's almost a 10k gold lead. Kog'Maw's going to be able to pick up that Infinity Edge off of this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Infinity Edge picked up. They're going to be able to get a Void Staff almost on Lulu. Lee Sin's going to be able to get that Spectre's Cowl. It's going to be a huge power spikes all low. Everyone's got almost over 1,000 gold on everyone on the team except for Renekton. So that's a lot. Like, there's 3 people with 2,000 gold on the team. So there's so much to work with right now.
So apparently, Prestige in more than just name. They like to spend the Ritz, live the high life.
Yeah, they got their boats and hoes.
Absolutely, because I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. That's what I. Yeah, no, we're not going there.
No, it's Prestige Worldwide's from the Step Brothers.
I Sure, sure. I'll pretend
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you've never seen Step Brothers? Oh my goodness.
I have never seen Step Brothers.
Well, you are missing out. You should go watch that as soon as this casting is over. You should go watch Step Brothers. You are missing out. It's a great movie. But yeah, no. It's looking pretty grim here for Tri-State Gaming. Lulu is actually opting to go for the Lich Bane, probably for tower pushing. She probably could have gone for the Void Staff and just been just as effective as pushing turrets because she's not going to be able to get that Lich Bane. And she was like 100 gold off of getting a full Void Staff. So maybe a questionable item choice there, but I feel like she maybe thinks that she needs to push turrets harder. So we'll see how that works out. It's more consistent damage. She'll be able to take Baron faster. But there is a gank going on here in the jungle here.
A little bit, and we got some damage coming onto the Thresh, but it's not really the target you want. We got the Evelynn ulti and the Thresh ulti, and
Tristana's
gonna back away.
Tristana's isolated here. She has no flash
wow,
up.
the one auto did so much damage with the red buff, and
oh my gosh,
gonna make it out.
Nope.
Lee Sin Q comes out, takes down the Tristana, and the damage coming out of Kog'Maw with those autos and that living bomb is just so ridiculously high.
And that's what I was telling you. The fact that he went for the Infinity Edge after instead of the Last Whisper actually gives him so much more damage than Last Whisper. It's like 30 more damage per second with the Infinity Edge than it is over Last Whisper. The guy was calculating. So really strong item pick up there. Lulu did get brought very low, but they do have the Tristana down. So are they gonna push into the base? I think they should just go for Baron here.
I probably would too. Just like you've got their main source of damage down. Put some wards, back out, and take a Baron. But no, Trundle's gonna be going in, and he's gonna be going down. Evelyn's trying to follow up, but there's not much she can really do right now. Ziggs is kinda in a bad place, but nobody's gonna really jump on him. Tristana is back up, and we have to see what she's able to do. Leon misses the Zenith Blade, not gonna be able to connect to the Kog'Maw, and Solar Flare comes out, doesn't really lock it down, but gets the slow on two. They have to run away without really getting anything.
Yeah, I mean they did pick up the kills. They were all pretty low, but Ziggs actually was out of mana, so they probably could have pushed in farther and actually gotten more. But unfortunately, they decided to just back off, and they could have won that fight. They actually had no spells up. Trundle was dead. They could have pushed in that 4v5 because they had used all their ultimates, and Kog'Maw was still fairly healthy. But we'll see if they decide to go for Baron or more pushing here. Kog'Maw, there's a huge wave top lane. Kog'Maw just picked up a Zeal. And that's just going to be more crit chance. He's sitting at, let's see how much crit chance he's sitting at right now. He is sitting at 10, 20, so 45% crit chance. That's a lot of crit chance right now. When he picks up that Phantom Dancer, it'll be up to like 65% chance of crit. So he's going to hit like hard. Like you're going to see on the creeps right now with 614 damage without even having his W up on a crit. So a lot of damage coming out from him right now. And it's gonna be a rough game, I think, for Tri-State Gaming if they want to try and come back into this.
And what really scares me about the Kog'Maw is, half of his damage isn't even physical. He's gonna be dealing all those crits. He's gonna be shooting you in the face for all that damage, and then there's extra magic damage on top of that.
Yeah.
But Evelyn's trying to come in and make a play, but she's really out alone, and Lee Sin's in the backline now. But he's going to have to get out because you do not want to fight this team under tower. However, Evelyn's ult is down again, trying to use it on one person. She's got to stop that. She's got to stop the solo queue mentality. Yeah, she just keeps using her ultimate, and it's not even good situations. She's just using it over and over again. I mean, at this point, she does have a decent amount of CDR, but even then, she's got the mobility boots. She doesn't have any damage built. I mean, usually you see like a Hex Shrinker built up on Evelynn at this point in the game. Doesn't have that. So she's not really going to do any additional damage, and I'm really interested in seeing if she's going to stop or if it's going to keep happening. If it keeps happening, they're not going to win any fights, but if they can scale late enough, they might be able to win, because Ziggs is just such a bully late game. If he gets that Zanya's more AP, get that Lich Bane on him, he's going to do so much damage. He's going to be able to one-hit Kog'Maw with his full combo. I mean, Rekton's going to keep falling off, and Trundle's going to keep getting scarier. Trundle's got his Banshee's Veil now, and if they can keep stalling, they might have a chance, but it's looking pretty grim right now. Especially if they can just stall out long enough for Tristana to really hit that super hard carry. She's already got IE, Bork, and a Phantom Dancer. She's already doing a lot, but there's just a little more that she can do to really snowball. And if they can get her alone, if they can get her with some time, they can take tower's down hard. But Lee Sin gonna be going in, doing the damage, locked down in the middle of all 5 of them.
Oh,
He's actually gonna make it out. He's so low. The damage is coming in from all different directions, but they're just kiting, peeling back, doing damage as they run away. And in the end, Evelyn and Leona are gonna be going down. It's now a 3v5, and they cannot defend this inhibitor.
Yeah, that's just what I was saying, is that there's no one touching the Kog'Maw at all. Kog'Maw, look how healthy he is. No damage done to him. He's just sitting there firing away over and over again. He's not getting any damage dealt to him.
He's feeling like a pretty Monarch butterfly.
Yeah, he is a gorgeous butterfly, and there's nothing they can do to touch him.
And they are trying to defend under this tower big time, and it's Thresh and Renekton go down. Look at Trundle's life, though. Just one living artillery will take him down. He's got to get out of there.
Yeah,
but in the end, they do wind up defending the base, which is what needed to happen.
Yeah, and you were seeing there is that's where the Tristana range buff comes in, when Kog'Maw's W is not up. Tristana was actually able to auto-attack Kog'Maw out of his range, and she did actually get a crits on him. Didn't quite get enough damage down on him. Once she gets that Slash Whisper, she will be in full carry mode. She's hitting for like about the same damage as Kog'Maw right now. She's got that range buff. With the attack speed, she's looking at attack speed of 2.5. So she's got capped out attack speed with her rapid fire up. Just ridiculous amounts of damage right now. Look for her to get a Banshee's Veil last item, or maybe a Mercurial Scimitar. There's a lot of stuff that is kind of affecting her, but she might need to cleanse the Renekton stun or the Lulu polymorph if she gets polymorph or slow or something like that. Banshee's Veil will be just good to block the Lee Sin Q. So I'm interested to see what she goes after Last Whisper, but Kog'Maw has just got so much damage. He could go for whatever item he wants next, and it would be fine.
And while Prestige does look like they have a just commanding lead on this game, what scares me is that Tri-State still has the chance of getting that one good team fight, and if Tristana's left alone, if they get that good team fight and Tristana has any kind of uptime on a tower, it's gone.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, is that the thing is here is that as long as Prestige Worldwide doesn't lose a fight in their half of the map, they'll be okay. But if they lose a fight at Baron, that's game, because Inhibitor's already exposed from that DC earlier. The inhib's exposed, but Trundle's getting caught out here, and he's looking like a dead man.
And oh wow, so much damage coming out of Kog'Maw, just chunking him down 500 at a time.
Yeah, that's a free Baron right now, and that's probably game. Unfortunately,
yeah. It's a 54-second cooldown or death timer on Trundle, and with this Baron coming in, and they're already 10k ahead, 11k ahead, going for the steal. Expects the miracle steal. They're going in, getting the damage down. Can they pull anything else out of this fight? Lulu's going down, Evelyn's going down. So much damage. Leona goes down, but in the end, they take the Baron away from Prestige, and that might keep them in the game if they can just survive long enough to get away from these guys. But no, Ziggs goes down. The hook lands on Tristana. She's trying to get out, doing as much damage as she can while running away, but gave it up in the end. A miracle steal, but not enough damage following it up.
It is so unfortunate that Tristana was not there for that fight. That would have been game over for Prestige Worldwide. They are so lucky that Tristana stayed to farm creeps instead of rotating the Baron with her team. Had she rotated there, that would have been the game over, because she would have had free reign with 2.5 attack speed, critting on their entire team. And that is just, they couldn't handle that. They're so lucky. They're just the luckiest right now.
And man, that ending was a roller coaster, I'd imagine, for Tri-State, because they get the miracle steal, they get the first kill in a team fight, and then it just turns back around on them because they don't have enough consistent damage.
Yeah.
Tristana didn't come with them. If Tristana would have came with them, I really think they could have just gotten that ace right there, shoved straight down the mid lane, and ended the game.
Honestly, that they could have also they could have just backed off, because Eve didn't need to go in there. They stole a Baron with the Ziggs ult, and Eve wasn't even close, but she still went in anyways. And they should have known as a team that Tristana wasn't there, so they probably shouldn't have went in there. But the thing is that I actually agree with Eve in that situation. Even though Tristana wasn't there, she should have been. Sure, the minions were pushing, but they were at Baron. They had a chance to contest it. They stole it. Their whole team was moving. Even if it's a bad call, go for it. And I think it was the better call to actually go for this, because they could have won the game there. And it's just one of those risks that they had to take, because if they give them the Baron, they just lose the game anyways. So I mean, it's just It's just slowly they didn't group up and communicate better with themselves. I think.
Yeah, and see, that just brings home a very good point that anybody watching has to understand. Communication is key. Communication is going to either win you a game, or as you see here, lose you the game.
Yeah, and one thing that people don't understand is that calls, you always respect. Like, if you have a shot caller, you respect the call. And even if you think it's a bad call, you should still just follow the call anyways, because even a bad call could turn out into something good. But yeah, if you have a dedicated shot caller, just listen to them. This is like a tip for everyone. If you have a shot caller, listen to them. Even if you think he's stupid or you think his call is ridiculous, go for it. Especially if it's in the heat of the moment and you trust them. Just trust them, and it will work. It will work out for you more often than not. Especially if their shot caller's got a good gut feeling about it. Eve had a good feeling about that one. They had caught the Baron. She had a 5-man LT followed by a 5-man solar flare and a 5-man Zigzalt. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better team fight than that. They could have won at 4v5 with the Baron buff, but it's just unfortunate there. So
yeah,
great game for both teams.
Just a not follow up.
So if you had to give an MVP this game, who would you give it to?
Ooh, if I had to MVP someone, I think I'd honestly have to go with the Lee Sin, just for, he was very consistent in all of his plays. He made sure to have a very big impact, actually secured the first blood, and I just felt him more than anyone else on this map, really. Like, everybody was doing good damage, but it really felt like Lee Sin knew what to do.
I'm gonna have to give it to Thresh, because if you want, I mean, Lee Sin did have good plays, right? And he won early game, which is exactly what Lee Sin's supposed to do, but he actually didn't have that good control of the jungle early game, and he didn't really have very good dragon control early game either. They didn't really get no one got dragon until 18 minutes, which is really, really late on the first dragon. I actually have to give it to Thresh, because if you watch most of the team fights, does anyone touch Kog'Maw in any of the team fights? No, he doesn't take any damage. Sure, Lee Sin kick helps, but the box plus the plays, the clutch hooks that he was hitting with the Shurelya's, the Locket, the Randuins, he was doing so much in the team fights. Kog'Maw wasn't even getting hit up with anything. I think the last team fight in front of the inhibitor, Kog'Maw didn't even take a single point of damage. So if you're giving that much protection from your support as an AD carry, you're going to have a lovely time playing, and it's going to be awesome for you. So I go to Thresh, that's my MVP.
All right, well, we will be right back, everybody, with our next game. Just give us a little bit of a break in between, and we will see you when we come back. My name is Nathaniel, and I'm joined by
Burnout. We're gone for a bit.
All right, see y'all in a few.
User left your channel.
I was fine when you pulled me down. You said the stars would answer. You said our prayers were